Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Angel from Lima in Peru, and today I want to tell you about this historical novel. Historical, but I must say a mixture of historical novel and thriller or detective story. It is called The Inca's Favorite by Peruvian writer and journalist Raúl Tola. He's very famous in our country for having presented some programs concerning current affairs, interviews, and politics. This is his sixth novel, and I was lucky enough to be during the presentation, the conference. Right? You have the autograph. It was about 3 months ago in the International Book Fair here in Lima. Well, when I think about the Inca Empire, I do not imagine automatically kind of thrillers, mystery, trying to solve a crime case. However, this is what does happen in this novel, and this is one of the merits of Mr. Tola. In 190 pages, this novel is divided in 6 chapters and epilogue, and well, it starts with a very simple but deep situation. Everybody gathers in at Condorcancha, the imperial palace. Pachacutec, the Inca, Mama Anahuarque, his wife, the empress, Capac Yupanqui, his brother, an army general, Uzcaigualpa, the leader of the secret service, the secret agents, or Tucuy. The main character, Amaru Anka, a Chasqui or imperial messenger, is arriving. However, somebody is absent. Urpi, the Inca's favorite. She was very beautiful and witty. She had been captured 15 years before as if she was an animal, a present, a gift for Pachacutec. She was absent. Where was she? Nobody was looking for her, to be honest. And then suddenly a servant appears running and screaming, saying, "It's horrible, it's horrible." So she is covered in a pool of blood. A horrible death? But what was it? A murder, a suicide, or an accident? Why? Where? Well, where exactly? Right? From where she had fallen, if she had fallen. When had it happened? Who ordered that in case it was, or if it was a murder? So Kapag suggests, implies that this is an accident, but Amaru states, affirms that no, she must have been killed. So can you imagine that? A murder in the Inca palace, in the imperial palace. So he is given 1 day to solve this case. Well, so throughout the novel we might find that process, the many difficulties that Amaru Anka had to solve this crime, the lack of evidence that had been conveniently and immediately erased, the assassin that is sent to attack him, the suggestion that he receives by Uzcaigualpa, because he says you should end this investigation, stop this investigation, and escape as far as possible. Not only that, but also Pachacutec's personality. He was ruthless, and he did not believe in anybody. Why? Because he hadn't been loved by his own mother, Mamaruntu, the empress. She despised him, humiliated him, and she preferred Inca Urco, Pachacutec's brother, to be the ruler. Um, a topic that is kind of taboo throughout this novel is the Great Rebellion. Well, that fight, internal fight, that civil war between Huáscar and Atahualpa, which is not mentioned in this novel, was an exception or it was a rule? Well, it was a rule because every time an Inca ruler ended his reign, turmoil occurred. Intrigue, treason, assassination. Well, in some cases, I can even say that they did not end their rule, but others ended it. Can you imagine that? So he established a type of institution, right, which is called the co-regency, in which there are two rulers, let's say, the father or Inca, who is in charge of politics, and the son or the heir to the throne, who is in charge of war. And yeah, Tupac Yupanqui, the heir, is fighting against the Manteños in what is now Ecuador. Another aspect is how evil Mamaruntu was, because she wanted to be the ruler. She had an ally, the leader of the Colla in the Altiplano, but before that, the leader of the Chancas. Those ethnic groups had been rivals of the Incas. So, well, you can notice that that world that had everything but harmony. Sometimes we tend to idealize the Inca Empire. I know that this is a novel, not a history book. However, yeah, there is a lot of fact included in this novel. I will not tell you the spoilers. However, I recommend reading the end because it is totally unexpected and really exciting. You feel part of that crime case. You feel in the mind of Amaru. You have to agree with his conclusions, and yeah, also the descriptions of the geography and the military art is really fascinating. Some curious aspects of this novel might be the inversion of order in sentences. We Peruvians have a tendency to invert that. Instead of saying, pass me the salt, we say the salt, pass me. Instead of said, buy a kilo of tomatoes, I say, a kilo of tomatoes buy. So it happens on page 19, fast the sun makes him sweat. Runs gracefully that Chasky. On page 45, by example he leads. So my question is, was it intentional? Was it a stylistic? Why did Mr. Tola opt for doing that and putting that in the mouth or in the words of some of his characters? A type of anachronism that I have found as well. There are two examples. The word taitita, which is something like dear father. I know that taita is not a Quechua word. I think it comes from Latin. You can find it on page 32. Instead of taita, I remember that father was yaya, yaya in Quechua. Well, somebody correct me, please. As well as that, on page 142, eucalyptus is mentioned. I know that this tree is native to Australia, and so I wonder whether that tree was brought to Peru during the colony or during the Republic. Well, another aspect of language is colloquial Spanish, including the article da before a proper name, which is very common in Chile or even in Argentina. In Peru, for example, you say the John, the Peter, the Susan. So on page 38, you find the urbi instead of urbi. There are some licenses, some liberties that the author has because, as I say again, this is a novel. A great whale taken to Cusco. The Chancas ending up on an island, I think. Capac Yupanqui having a romance or at least a sexual relationship with a male prisoner. It is also mentioned that messengers enabled the Inca to eat fresh fish from the sea and freshly picked fruit from the Amazon, though the author doesn't mention whether it happened on the same day. This is a very common topic. When we idealize the Inca Empire, we say that. Stories of Chasquis murdered by bandits. Well, so it goes against that idealized view according to which delinquency did not occur during the Inca Empire. Also, and last but not least, human sacrifices. The Capacocha, well, I know that many children, especially, were sacrificed, even 200 children. However, there is an episode in which they say that a heart of a rival leader is extracted from the heart and shown to the attendants. It sounds rather Aztec or Mayan. Well, somebody correct me because I'm not a specialist on that. For this and many other reasons, I really recommend reading the Inca's Favorite. I hope you can find it on the Ricardo Palma Book Fair, which started yesterday in Miraflores. I'm going there tomorrow, so if I find this book, I promise to tell you where you can find it. Okay, that's all. Bye bye. See you.